Recording this one from the bedroom because there was so much wind outside. Hopefully this will be a lot quieter, although you might be able to hear sort of like a low-level hum of the fridge in the background. I'll be quiet for you to pick up the sound. Hello and welcome to A Wealthy Life. This is episode 38, Your Life, Your Choice, Your Plan. And it's part of a series from Simi where I wanted to use the time today to add insights around the happiness planner that I spoke about in episode 34. This episode is going to be the conclusion of the series. There's going to be no more banging on about the holiday or hopefully maybe not even happiness for a while anyway. We'll see. The challenge with a wealthy life is understanding what it means to you. I think to summarize for me, it's about planned spontaneity, knowing the direction I want to travel in, the goals I want to achieve, but being open to new ideas, to a change of plan, the idea of adaptable that I spoke about a few weeks ago. And all of that is so much easier when you're in control of your own time. While we've been here on Simi, we've been endlessly amazed by the number of super expensive boats and yachts that are moored in the harbour here. My thoughts immediately go to how much these boats must have cost. They say a boat owner has two happy days: the day they buy the boat and the day they sell the boat, because they cost so much to run. A lot of the boats that are here are sales boats, and even with the wind that we've had in the last few days, not one has raised a sail. They're all cruising around on their motors. Now, I just don't understand the point of spending all that money on something and then not using it or enjoying it for the purpose that it was designed. If you're not going to sail, why don't you just buy a motorboat in the first place? I don't know. And the cost of buying these boats is only the start. There are mooring fees, there is fuel, there's upkeep, there's crew costs, and the list goes on and on and on. But if this is your happy, or they're happy, maybe it's their happy, that's absolutely fine. But I do feel that there are a few boat owners here that have got so much money that the boat is just a way to spend it and show off. It was quite hysterical when we had lunch the other day and you looked out over the harbour and it felt like all the boats had lined them up in size of their masts. And actually maybe that was to do with the size of their keels as well, but it looked like they'd all lined up, and the one at the front was saying, my mast's bigger than your mast, and then the next mast is going, well, my mast might be smaller than your mast, but it's bigger than your mast, very much in keeping with that Monty Python sketch. I think personally, I'd rather travel around the world and then rent a boat and crew when I arrive somewhere that I actually wanted to do the sail. And I think maybe I'm probably being a bit judgy here, because as someone who gets seasick so easily, being on a boat is neither fun nor happy for me, and not an income generating asset, more a financial drain. But that's just the way my head works. Over the last 5 podcasts, I've been talking to you all about creating a happy and wealthy life. And in some senses, this could be seen as early annual planning for the year ahead. Instead of waiting through to December or worse, January, planning is actually something that you can do whenever. Planning to be happy is something that you can start on any day of the year. In fact, 365 days of the year, you should be, that's a bit judgy again, but you should be planning to be happy. After all, as the title of this podcast says, it's your life, your choice, your plan. And if it's not your plan to be happy, then I guarantee that you're playing a role in someone else's plan to make them happy. So I just want to take you back to the 5 principles of a wealthy life and relate them to this mini series of podcasts that I've done from here in Simi, and talk you through them in a way that hopefully it will coalesce and summarize and bring together this entire podcast. starting with clarity. Clarity comes from knowing what you want in life. What is enough, both in terms of your finances and the accessories that you want in your life, and really what life has to offer for you, what makes you happy, how much that will cost, and what you need to stay happy. And that's basically rigid flexibility and adaptability coming together. How are you going to bring all of this together to create that happy plan for yourself? Understanding and knowing what is enough and what is more enough is a whole topic that I covered back in episode 11, entitled Why Money Maths Will Save Your Sanity. If you haven't listened to that podcast, or even if you have, you might want to go back and listen to that again to sort of just bring this idea back into your head, because it's very much about the finances, but it's also very much about the lifestyle, not just the money of the lifestyle, but the way that you want to live your life. And once you understand that, you will be more clear, and it will be much easier to then create the happy life that you want, or to recognize that you already have it. And then if we actually go back to the specific talk about finances, being in control of your finances, of course, is absolutely crucial. Letting your finances run away, wasting money, being in debt is a sure way to keep you tied into a job, or feeling unhappy, or feeling not in control of your time. And that's why being in control of your time is as important, possibly even more important, than being in control of your finances, because you have to understand how much you need to generate from your assets so that you can create an income, so that you don't have to work to pay the bills, so that you can then be happy because you have a plan that lets you be in control of your time and give you all the time you need to enjoy the plan. So it becomes a circle. Sorting out your finances means that you're no longer dependent on a job or work, specifically that you are not at the beck and call of an employer, and you become time free. Because you are time free, and obviously you have the money, otherwise you wouldn't be time free, you're in a position to fully embrace your happy plan, and at that point be in a position to recognize that you are living a wealthy life because you've brought it all together. And that's why you need to be in control of your time as well as your finances. And one way of being in control of your time is to be in control of your finances. And as you work through that process, you also need to understand that you can create and leverage assets to work for you, effectively buying yourself out of this process of having to work every day, looking at assets. What do you actually have? What could you can control? What can you acquire? What can you share? What can you buy? And recognizing what assets you have close to you, what resources you have close to you, and making sure that they are leveraged in a way that is working towards your goal is very crucial. First, as part of your wider wealthy life plan, you will have identified these assets and resources. And now what you want to do is make sure that they are working towards the happy plan. They know their role in your plan. You know their role in your plan, and you have a team to support you, that you manage to manage your assets and their performance so that you have the time to enjoy the output, which is effectively more time for you to be happy. And finally, knowing and living your legacy, your happy, wealthy life every day, in amongst all of your happy, where you can share, support others and help them maybe to find your happiness. Although I would say here, knowing that not everyone is ready or actually wants to be happy, there are plenty of people out in the world that are happy being miserable, and maybe you know a few. Legacy is about enjoying life and creating memories. and maybe more tangible outcomes that will leave a lasting and positive impact on the people around you when you're no longer here. The harsh fact is that we are only likely to be remembered for a generation or two after our deaths. And maybe you don't care about that. You don't care whether you're remembered or if you're remembered for how long. But I'm sure that if you're listening to this podcast, you're someone who wants people to remember you positively and fondly. And that's the impact your legacy will leave. The specifics are up to you. In my book, The Wealthy Retirement Plan, I talked about the 4 M's, the different ways that you can spend your time. And this can actually help you focus on how you want to shape your legacy. It could be spending your time on a mission, something that you're passionate about. This could be something that is very personal to you. It could be working in the community. It could be sharing your knowledge. It could be taking your business and creating an arm of your business so that it is all about what you can do to give back because you already have enough or possibly even more than enough. It could actually be that your mission is to become an artist or a musician or to be a sports player, not necessarily in terms of being a celebrity, but that you want to finesse a skill. That could be your mission. Your mission could be to be present for your family. Your mission could be to be an exceptional boss for your staff. The choice is yours. This is a very personal and powerful driving force in you. And when you have the time, you can spend it on your mission, in your mission, living your mission. Another one of the M's is memory. And this is maybe spending valuable time with others, maybe family or friends, creating lasting positive memories. This is about enjoying your time in the company of others, or, and equally important, enjoying your time in the company of yourself. And I spoke about this before, maybe going for that walk, maybe sitting and painting a picture of the lake or the tree or a flower or something. Whatever your happiness is, memories is the place and the time that you can stack in your happy. You can spend time being happy and then have that memory, that recording of that time to play over in your head again and again. Another M is multi-generational. And here it's really about spending time again, rather than just creating memories. This is about being with older people and younger people. Maybe you're the older person, or maybe you're the younger person, or you're somewhere in the middle, and looking at how you can share and transfer knowledge. And transferring that knowledge and understanding up and down the generation is like taking a box and turning over and looking at another side. And when you've looked at all 6 sides, you think that you know something. It's then that point where you turn it and you look in at one of the corners and maybe you see a completely different shape. And when you speak about topics with older and younger generations than you, people outside of your normal scope, and you see the way they perceive things, that's where you get the deeper understanding that really adds value to life. And in doing so, you get that opportunity to learn and gain more understanding for yourself. It's almost self-development, but it's also knowledge transfer. It's problem solving, it's challenging. It could be something that you do within a business. It could be something that you do within a community. It could simply be something you do within your family. And finally, the 4th M is means. This is how you earn your money. Whether you're employed or you're running a business, whether you're a property investor, a trader, or involved in any other form of income generation, the choice is yours. The less time you spend earning that income, the more time free and wealthy you will be. But there is absolutely nothing wrong with earning an income, staying employed if you want to, as long as you're in a position where you have income on the other side and you know that you don't have to work just to pay the bills. So a couple of quick points to summarize this series. Number one, it's up to you to work out what makes you happy, and then find a way to build that into your life so that it becomes your way of life 365 days of the year. If you don't do this, someone else will be doing this, and you will become part of their happy story, which is great if what they need you to do also makes you happy. But if one way of making them happy is making you miserable, that's not so good. So find out, work out what makes you happy. And that was, I think, way back at episode 34. And then the second point, making a plan is quite dangerous because there are so many ways for the plan or the universe to conspire and encourage you to fail or to stop with your plan. And if you remember one of the previous episodes, I spoke to you about the levels of consciousness. There is a level of consciousness very, very deep in our unconscious that is about protecting us. And when you suddenly show up with a new plan that's all about being happy, this part of your brain can panic and go, no, we don't want to do anything new. We want to stick with the old way because the old way is safe. And you'll need to train your mind. You'll need to train your thinking that actually your happy plan is what you want to follow. And so when obstacles come in your way, you're going to be adaptable. That's what we spoke about. Being adaptable will be your greatest strength. It will help you retrain your mind to get in the flow of being happy. And number three, time and money. They're your two biggest resources and assets. And if you use them wisely, and you're also aware of those that might try and steal your time or waste your money, you're going to be in a position where you can accumulate those assets for the benefit of first yourself, then your family, then part of your wider legacy. You can accumulate time, not to hold on to it, but to have more time freedom. You can accumulate money, not in the purest sense of, I want to be rich and just have bags and bags of money, but so that you can buy yourself out of those obligations or responsibilities that require your time but don't make you happy, so that the shift in how you spend your time, the shift of the way you spend your week, of how you spend your day, or of how you spend your year, more and more and more of your time is spent doing the things that make you happy for your choice. And as I said, that could still be running your business. It could be investing in property. It could be trading. It could be doing anything. It could be walking in the woods. It could be painting pictures. It's your life, your choice, your plan. But if people are, or circumstances are, looking to relieve you of your time and relieve you of your money, and you're not wise to that, then you can be running on the treadmill and actually making no progress whatsoever. And above all, don't waste your own time trying to save money at the expense of your time. And don't waste money because you wouldn't spend the time to consider whether there was another option. The outcomes, the options, the objectives of all of this planning is to get you to a point where you have rigid flexibility, rigid in the sense that this is my plan, this is how I want to spend my time being happy, but flexible to the opportunities that come your way. Maybe you'll meet somebody else and they have a way of being happy that you'd never thought of, and you can take that on, you can adopt it, you can become adaptable. You're aware of opportunities around you. I spoke to you about opportunities. So don't miss out on opportunities because you become so blinkered, right? All I want to do is paint pictures, and you completely miss the fact that actually maybe going to galleries and looking at other people's paintings will be both inspiring and make you happy. So not wasting your time on the wrong activities and not wasting your money by not paying attention is a crucial part of this process. What if there was another way? What if there was another way to be happy? What if there was another way to feel wealthy? What if there was another way to be in control of your own time and free to do as you choose? Maybe there is. I only know the steps that I've taken to reach this point, to be a place in my life where I am so truly happy. I feel wealthy beyond what money could buy, and wealthy beyond fancy yachts even. I'm in control of my own time and my finances, and very aware of when to search and save money, very aware of when I might be wasting time. For example, I'm not perfect. I can still get caught up in scraping out old suntan bottles for just 2 teaspoonfuls of extra suntan cream that I then decant into another bottle. I can still make mistakes, but my aim is to be increasingly more self-aware, to learn from those mistakes and to go on and leave a positive legacy. And the big question for you is, what do you want for yourself? What's going to make you happy? What do you want? How do you want to spend your time? That's it for this series. If you want to know more about the 4 M's that I spoke to you about, you can get a copy of my book, The Wealthy Retirement Plan, and I talk about them in there. If you'd like a signed copy of the book, then get in touch. Please make sure that you subscribe to this podcast, and please do leave a review. So until next week, when we will be back in the chilly UK, hoping, of course, for a warm Indian summer, keep well. And thank you so much for listening to A Wealthy Life. It's a podcast that's focused on helping aspirational and forward-thinking business owners and senior managers to make time for their own personal lives, your own happy plan, your own wealthy life, your choice, your plan. I hope that the insights that you've got in here will continue to help you create a wealthy life where you can spend your time doing what you love with those that you care about. My name's Vicky Wooshea, and I hope that I've been able to put a little more whoosh into your life. Until next week, take care.